1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello and welcome back to another edition of Lay It on the Table, the Southern Board Game Podcast, with an accent on Southern. Nailed that again, finally.
Yes, that's good. That's
back
good.
In the rhythm, the rust is off, and we are back in the saddle. I, of course, am one of your hosts, Joe Mahaffey, and is with me as always
is James Engelhardt, the other host. How are y'all doing? How are you doing, Joe?
I'm doing pretty good, man. It was a busy Halloween weekend, but I gotta tell you about it. So, Shane from our D&D group, friend of the show, Shane, she got married on Halloween.
I saw that. Super fun pictures.
She asked me a long time ago to officiate the wedding.
Yep.
So I did, and it was a beautiful evening at the Greenleaf Farms in Concord, North Carolina. And it was just a lovely outdoor wedding in front of a tree. And the best part was they came down the aisle and I presented them with a tray that had 2 dodecahedrons on it. And they had to roll to see who got to go first with their vows.
That's fantastic.
By the way,
he's a long-term GM too, right? Long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he had advantage.
Ah.
Well, he had a +5 for Dex, but he still lost.
Oh well.
So anyway,
that's fantastic.
So they got married, and there were a couple things that went off with a hitch. We were going to do a burning of the sage over the rings, and it was a windy day, so it was hard to get the sage to stay lit. But you know what? As we were working on that, I looked at the audience and said, every wedding has that one story.
Yeah.
Years later you talk about, and the lighting of the sage is going to be this story. But then after the wedding, by the way, Chris was the DJ.
Nice.
So he did all the DJ things that you do. Everything from, by the way, the entire score until we got to the real reception, he played nothing but bardcore. So it was all these contemporary songs,
Awesome.
like Mr. Brightside by the Killers, done as bardcore.
Nice.
Girls Just Want to Have Fun, done as bardcore.
See, I was either going to say it was going to be something like that, or it was going to be the Lord of the Rings soundtrack.
Yeah, bardcore was a much better choice.
A little more upbeat, yeah.
Yeah. But then after the meal, everybody was free to get into their costumes if they brought them. And there was a couple there that had there were 2 couples that I thought had really creative costumes. One, the wife or the woman put on a flesh-colored leotard and put body parts all over it, like a heart and a wishbone, and her husband dressed up as a doctor and had a pair of tongs.
Oh, nice.
They were Operation, and
yep.
anytime the kids would come over and touch her, she would put the red nose on and go,
Fabulous. That's great.
That was really clever. And then another couple were dressed as Mary Poppins and Bert, and they really, in my mind, they stole the show in terms of costumes that I saw.
Right.
Great. And there were a lot of great costumes there, so it was a pretty high bar. My costume was I know you're familiar with this. When we started the Curse of Strahd as if it were set in Appalachia.
Right.
And y'all went into the bar in what we called euphemistically Ash Vale.
Right.
And there was the warrior behind the bar who was the bartender. It's an NPC character based on my brother Doc. I have recreated that in costume form.
Oh, nice.
So
that's fantastic.
now I can play that. The sad part was I had ordered, because the warrior carries those crossbow pistols.
Oh, right. Yep.
Which I ordered some off of Etsy. I ordered one off of Etsy. A wooden handheld crossbow that shoots marshmallows.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I thought that was the appropriate use of the firearm in that circumstance, but I did not have it, unfortunately.
Alas.
But they are married, and I got home in time to find out that we had the biggest trick-or-treat activity on the street in probably 10 years.
Oh, wow.
I missed it.
Aw.
Dale was here to get it. She wasn't feeling well, so she did the candy and such. And so, anyway. But next year, we will be back in action with a full-blown, scary, spooky yard.
Excellent.
And with trick-or-treaters.
Well, that'll be good. Yeah,
how about you? How was your holiday?
We went trick-or-treating. We had family, friends come over. They have 3 youngins. So we were a party of 4. In terms of youngins.
Very nice.
And then, then an equal number of parents all the way around. And just strode around, met neighbors, said hey. One house was giving out beer. So that was nice. Appreciated that. Yeah, they're like, look, we've got candy bars. What? Would you care for a beer? Yes, I would. So that was nice.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Well, obviously next weekend is going to be Mythicon here in Charlotte, North Carolina at the University Hilton. I still haven't decided if I'm going to make an appearance or not. If I do, it'll probably just be a walk-in day pass at this point.
Sure.
We're going to figure it out next weekend. We've got a lot going on right now. Got some people down in Spartanburg we got to take care of, and just, stuff that's just going on, man. And so life happens, and it always happens when you got other stuff to do. Yep. So anyway, but it is going to be next weekend. And so if you are in the Charlotte area, I encourage you to find your way to the University Hilton and check out Mythicon.
It's a great show. I remember the time we went, it was fantastic. Good people, good conversations, tasty food trucks, lots of games, lots of game playing. It was fantastic.
Ironically, a lot of the things I learned from that engineer that was teaching us all about LED lighting and how to light up your villages and your scenes.
Yeah.
I use a lot of that in my ham radio hobby now.
Oh,
so
okay.
I like how they over. Yeah. So,
that's
by the way, in that regard, I have been, I went through a Morse code class for 2 months.
Right.
Just finished it up this week. I have the beginner courses out of the way. The next is the foundation course. I am about 15 words a minute, maybe 10. I don't know, somewhere.
Where should you be?
But I'm ahead of the game, is what he told me.
Okay, good.
The game.
Awesome.
So, and sending is one thing. It's the hearing part that's the hard part to learn, because you just got to get the dits and das and just hear them as if, oh, that's an L. And, oh, that's, under letter or something like that. And so that's the hard part. But I have been doing a lot of Parks on the Air where I have been connecting with people. And as you recall, Parks on the Air is sort of the gamification of ham radio. Yep. And it's a lot more fun with CW because there's rote responses back and forth. And so you kind of, as you're learning, you can kind of get the hang of it. So anyway, I won't spend a lot of time on that. Just thought I would pass that along.
That's awesome.
So in prepping for this today, I was trying to go through the news and see if there was any kind of follow-up on some of the things that we had talked about last time. And I didn't really find anything that really kind of took the narrative forward. So I just really stuck to the fact that Spiel Essen took place and had, almost 225,000 people. And it is therefore the world's biggest game event on the planet. We're talking about Mythicon next week. I don't think they're going to come close to that. But one day.
One day.
Have to have aspirations.
Yeah.
But this is and funny thing about Spiel Essen is obviously I've heard of it. You mention it a lot. We talk about it a lot. But it's really something I think you know a lot more about than I do. So I think that there were probably some highlights of some games or some things. So they had. I think that, you might want to go over.
Spiel Essen, 1,700 new games. They opened a new hall. Lots and lots of new stuff going on. And I saw a bunch of, there's a bunch of games, right? But a couple of these kind of stood out. And so I'll just go with some quick hits. There's Bohemians, which is just a light deck builder themed around 20th century artists in Paris. Seems pretty fun. You get some slight asymmetries in your atelier board, and you need to avoid hardships. And reportedly some funny moments with these hardships. And beautiful art, as one would hope. Looks really lovely, kind of a watercolorish, almost cartoony, but not that bad, but it's lovely. Then another one that caught my eye was Covenant. I'm not sure about that title, but anyway, this is a much heavier game. It's worker placement with differently powered workers, so like the bees in apiary. But instead, you're playing as dwarves, reclaiming an entirely non-IP infringing mining complex that's been taken over by monsters and assorted evils and needs to be returned to the rightful kings, right? So you've got actions on your own board, shared board with lots of actions, so there's plenty of options for combo-tastic excitement, and all packaged in a pretty crunchy euro. The rule book is 40 pages long, so there's a fair bit of crunch. Another one, Recall, which is a game that came out a couple years ago, is Revive, and this kind of is further in that world. So it's this post-apocalypse where you're rebuilding civilization. You start as one of 14 tribes with one of 18 gadgets, which will push you toward particular strategies, and you can see how recombining those, each time you play is going to lead to very different combinations there. You play cards onto action spaces, and more combos determine what you can do. So also crunchy, but only 16 pages of rules this time. Horloge, which is a beautiful game, another medium-heavy kind of game. In this one, you're building Prague's astronomical clock. It has rondelles, set collection, tech trees, and a geared board. But only one pair of gears is ain't sulkin'. And this one, because apparently I'm keeping track of all this, 23 pages of rules. And IR is the last one that I'm interested, that kind of got my attention here, is you're one of the IR, which is the children of the sun and moon god, and you're leading the early Incans to build their empire. So that's a theme that you don't see a lot. It's kind of fun. You're moving pieces around 3 different boards, which seems like a lot. And you're trying to get sun and moon points, and sort of in a bit of homage to Reiner Knizia, you just score the lower one of those, so you don't get your highest points. Yes. So, and then also with each round, one of the tracks on the main board scores and gets closed off. So it starts with this big decision space and it shrinks as you go. So that's pretty cool. Lots of historical notes throughout the rulebook, which is also a good thing. And just because I can, it's got 20 pages of rules. So
there you go.
Yeah. So, and just, tons of other good fun stuff. Yeah.
Well, I love that. In fact, I loved it. The minute you said non-IP infringing, I thought that was rather clever. I took a look at that and I noticed it's DeVere Games, the same people that brought us Lockhart 1977, as well as Cities and a few others.
Yep.
Their games are very accessible for a worker placement, I think.
Yeah,
and what I hear from
they also tend to jam a whole bunch of stuff into little boxes. So apparently this thing is just jam packed with stuff, and it's hard to find some way to put an organizer in there, because it's just all the way to the top to begin with. So yeah.
Oh, challenge accepted.
I know. I could imagine engineers across the world and their 3D printers. Yeah.
Well, obviously there's a website called Tinkercad, which is the place to start, because you can kind of start designing yourself, and you have to get there's a little ruler I have that does measures by the millimeter.
Wow.
And because you got to really keep it metric to get it in there. Anyway.
Yep.
Well, it's interesting. You went to Essen or went to the Essen site and looked at all the different games. Mm-hmm. Dale and I were recently preparing for Halloween, the aforementioned Halloween, and so we went to the spiritual mecca of all things Halloween, Spirit Halloween, of course.
That's the one, yes.
And this year, because evidently the big box stores were getting consumed by other things, they had to be physically inside the mall where the Forever 21 used to be.
All right, there you go.
I don't know how else to say that, so I just said it like that. Anyway, at our mall, I don't know how it is at your mall, but at our mall, to get into the Spirit Halloween, you either have to go through the food court or you go in through the Barnes & Noble. Of course.
Oh, fun. Okay.
You went in through the Barnes & Noble, and the first thing you're greeted with at our Barnes & Noble is games.
Oh, that's awesome.
And lots of games. Games that I was now surprised that they were carrying. In fact, they were highlighting a game about books.
Oh,
that escaped moments. Sorry, I brought it up. But I did see this box that caught my eye, and it said Tea Witches.
Oh yeah.
And this is a game that is the same team that brought us Flamecraft. Manny Vega is the designer, and Sandera Tang is the artist. And it has all of the cuteness that you would expect from those two.
Yep.
And it's very clever, but instead of in a village of dragons, you're in a village of witches. You are at the Tequinox Fair.
Haha.
And you are using your teapups to go around and get your materials, and you're trying to attract customers and get some loyal customers. And so it becomes quite the thing of using your resources to get all the things that you need to satisfy your customers. And then you can attract celebrities.
I was going to say, there's punniness going on. Please tell me.
There's a lot of puns in this. Yes, a lot of puns in this thing.
Awesome.
But also, if as you're pulling out your cards and deciding what you're going to get and who you're going to get, etc., if you get 2 cards of the exact same suit, you have been hexed.
Oh.
And you have to stop. And you have to put those cards and any cards that came after that away. Now, you have 3 spots that, regardless, you're hex-free. So you're always going to have 3 cards to work with. Okay. And you can buy more things that protect you from hexes.
So a little push your luck, actually.
Going forward. Lots of push your luck, exactly. And just your resource gathering, your worker placement. You have a couple of different actions you can take, including spinning the resources that are available where you are.
Nice.
And then you can also fulfill certain special orders if your teapup and your opponent's teapup happen to be on the same space together, and they both have the required elements. Then you can then fulfill a specialty that gets you extra points at the end. So there's a lot of mechanics in the game, lots of different ways to. And I actually won this first time we played, but the margin of error was very close. I think I was at like 60, and Dale was like at 54, 55. So it was very close. And if you know both of us, we never play the same strategy with a new game. We're always trying to feel it out. She focuses a lot more on in-game conditions than I do. I'm just trying to be points out with what I got, and if I get the in-game goals, then that's just a bonus for me, because I want to learn before I'm ready for the mechanics of the nuance. I'm just trying to get down the gameplay, right?
Right.
And I got to tell you, compared to some of the other games we talked about last time, from Silver Frost to Hamlet, this one was a lot more accessible to get into the game. We still think there might be 1 or 2 things we're possibly doing wrong.
That's fair.
But evidently this one was showcased this year at Gen Con.
Okay.
And just evidently hit delivery if you backed it on Kickstarter, or if you bought it right around the time we found it. And I did not get it at Barnes & Noble. I bought it online because I wanted the Kickstarter bits that come with it, that you can get. That if I can, because they did such an amazing job with Flamecraft with the upgraded bits. I knew that the upgraded bits in this were going to be.
Yeah, and so it feels kind of similar to Flamecraft in terms of recipe fulfillment and gathering resources, but it sounds like the gameplay itself is quite different. Yeah,
and the board, I mean, they give you like this fountain that you keep all your tea elements in, and you can spin it. So there's a mechanic that the way you assemble it is very it's very circular. And in fact, we tried to put it on our, we have that 22-inch Lazy Susan turntable, and it was actually too big for that.
Oh wow!
So we had to finally put it on the game table and just well, because you have to have certain things around it too.
That was space,
it was plenty of room for the board, but because of what you have to have around the board, certain elements, there's
tiles and cards and stuff. It looks like okay.
So, but no, it's again, those, they have this thing that works for them in terms of her aesthetic and design,
Mm-hmm.
they are a formidable team. And this is published by the Op Games, which is different than the publisher Flamecraft. I believe that was.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I'm staring at it, and it's too dark in my room to tell you what it is. It's right up here.
Okay.
But it was a different publisher. But that's okay. I like the teaming of this too. They are the Carpenters. No, they're not related. They're not brother and sister. Who are they?
Card Game Alchemy was
the
the publisher.
yes.
Mhm.
So anyway,
Yeah, no,
that's
that looks
that's
super comfy and cozy. I mean, that's kind of their vibe, and the puns are super awesome, and yeah, super good stuff.
I have a metaphor. They are the Mickey and Mitch of board games.
Okay, the monkeys.
No, that's a reference to A Mighty Wind, which if you've never seen, I highly recommend.
It's been a minute since I've seen A Mighty Wind, so yeah.
They are the Mitch and Mickey.
Okay.
Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy. That's all you need to know.
Yep, the two left feet. Yes. I remember. Yep. Okay. All right.
Anyway, so that's the only game I have to talk about because it's Halloween, and we just kind of went with that and stuck with it. We do have the horrified Dungeons and Dragons on the table.
Oh, fun!
But we never got to it because we jumped on this, and there you. And I was, as you know, I was traveling. I was in Raleigh, and then I was in Austin, which were both amazing.
Oh, good.
But yeah.
Cool. I have a couple of games. Mostly we've been playing a bunch of little ones. So we went through, you played something with a lot of theme and very pretty. And I'm going to go, once again, very old school. Last time it was about 3,000 years ago. This time it's from 1630. So this is Cribbage. And, your bits and bobs will vary depend on if you're going to go and get your deck of cards and your cribbage board at the Goodwill or if you're going to pay somebody to make something really nice for you. So one of the fun things about cribbage, again, 1630, was invented probably by Sir John Suckling. That's his name. A minor noble and a poet. It is one of the few games that we have, apparently, that are designed by poets. And he's building off an older game called Naughty. And then we've got this. So it's a really straightforward two-player game. Have you played the game, Joe?
I don't think so. I'm definitely familiar with it.
Right.
Never played it. And when I say familiar with it, it means I've heard of it. I don't think I've even seen it play.
Yeah. It's a at its most basic, it's just a two-player card game. You can play it with 3 or 4, but mostly you just play it two-player. And you gain points in 2 distinct phases. The first person to score 121 points or more wins, and that's that. So in the first phase, the dealer and opponent are playing cards one at a time from their hand to create runs like back and forth. You set up sets, pairs, 3 of a kind, that kind of stuff. So you try to get to 15 or 31, you get some points there. Then once you've played through all your cards, you grab your hand back up and you score the same stuff, but with just your hand cards, and then there's a flipped over starter card that you both kind of share. You do have some control of the cards. You get dealt 6, you keep 4, 2 go into a crib, hence cribbage, and then the dealer gets to score that as well as their original hand. It's a pretty light game, moves pretty quickly, takes about half an hour, and again, the look of the game is going to be different. You get like fancy, fun little dragon back cards, or something you can find at the bottom of a bin in Goodwill. And these little cribbage boards like this are around, although you can just get a piece of paper and just keep score that way too. So very little theme. Yeah.
So I'm wondering, so last time you talked about a game that was over 3,000 years old, and now you're talking about a game from the 16th. And I don't know if you noticed, but when I published the last episode of this podcast, I used the AI feature in Riverside to actually make a little short snippet that I put on YouTube and Facebook, which is us talking about backgammon.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
So
I have not seen that yet.
Sort of
busy
promo. Yes. So
go check that out.
I don't know if Cribbage will make the cut this year. We'll just see what the AI says.
Yeah, Cribbage is it's a great taught it to Laura a couple weeks ago, and we've been Usually it's like the end of the night, like, well, we've got enough time for let's play cribbage, so we'll do that. The larger game, just from 2012, so not nearly 400 years, is Edo by Lewis and Stefan Maltz, published by Queen Games. There's a Queen Games vibe, in that the rules are 5 pages long. Okay. Since we're doing rule counts, page counts there. But still, it's a really solid middleweight game in which you are a daimyo in historical Japan, using officials to select actions and sending samurai across the countryside around Edo, now Tokyo, to perform those actions. The core of the game are these little square tiles. The game calls them cards. Who knows why? And there's an action along each of the sides of the card. So you start with 3 of those, and you decide which action you want to do on that tile, and you set it into a little action board. You assign officials, meeples to it. Some actions you can perform several times based on how many officials and samurai you got. Others only once. So it's a bunch of different stuff. It takes a minute to sort out this iconography, but it's not nearly as bad as trying to sort out like Nucleum. Then you go around the table, flipping down the tile, doing the actions, and you go around until everybody has resolved their actions. And there's some jockeying for position and timing of stuff on the board, but the real tension is that the tiles tend to have 2 or maybe 3 things that you want to do on each of them, right? So you're like, ooh, I want to get the cheap stones, but I also want to build. Ah, damn it. So you've got to figure out, and then you realize that one of the things you want to do is get a new action tile, because you can do that, but you've already committed that tile to something else. So do you ditch that, or do you wait another turn, but then somebody else gets the thing that you want? It's that kind of stuff that makes you just kind of slow down and go, okay, all right. So again, it's not a whole lot of stuff, but you're looking at, that's the big thing. Then you program those actions and away you go. The game ends when someone gets to 12 points. So this is clearly not a game that is just spewing points at you, or you've gone 12 rounds. There's some final scoring, but that's it. It's solid. It's like an hour and a half, depending on player count, familiarity, and how much people get stuck in their own heads trying to figure out which tile should go before which one. Which happened in our game, because people are like, okay, got it. Oh, wait, no, hold on a second. And they flip things around like, okay, oh, wait, no. Yeah, so that kind of thing happens. It's pretty fun that way.
Nice.
And it's still around. You can pick it up. It's still available if you want to play it. It's a Queen game. Moves pretty quick. And then the last one is an older game, not as old as Cribbage. It's a 2004 release from Z-Man called Fairy Tale, designed by Satoshi Nakamura. I have both this 2004 version and an upgraded 2014. The graphic design was supposed to be better. They certainly changed the graphic design. Did they make it better?
Yes.
That's a little less clear. It's kind of hilarious. But the game itself is... What?
Bowie Estate should probably say. I said the Bowie Estate should probably say something about it.
Oh yeah. So this is a very early stripped down pick and pass tableau builder. You have 5 cards. You pick one, pass them. There's a 2-player variant that you can make that work better for you at 2. You end up with 5 cards. You'll play 3 and discard the other 2 completely. Then it's a tableau builder. You're setting up scoring opportunities, right? It's a fantasy theme, so you want dwarves with certain dragons and elves with different dragons, or you can get a lot of humans into one space, but you'll have to get a lot of humans. And your opponent is going to see what you're doing, so you might not get all those humans. Then some of the cards force you or an opponent to flip a card, and then others let you flip them back up. So lots of little decisions, but it's really stripped down very quick. The graphic design, as I suggested, is an issue. The arts, they made some choices. So if you're looking for something like this, go with Sushi Go. It's a bit easier to parse and less likely to raise eyebrows. But it's interesting to revisit these early things and say, okay, what is it? What did they bring to the table? And you can see now why that company or that designer went, you know what? We can do better. So, but yeah, that's Fairy Tale. From Z-Man.
Well, it sounds like clearly you've been a lot busier in the game department than we have, since we just stuck with the one through the season. That tends to be the way our October goes.
Yeah.
We tend to focus on when we keep saying we're going to do Sleepy Hollow, and then we never do. we end up watching a lot of videos about it. Not the game, actually, the story of
Oh yeah.
Sleepy Hollow, just sort of all the things that go along with it. But yeah, so it you can always tell that time of the year when we're kind of in those spooky games.
Mm-hmm.
But ironically, since the last time we were together, nothing new has hit the collection.
Well, I saw the Tea Witches. That seems kind of new.
Yeah, I was kind of weighing that back and forth. Should I put it as the game we played and new to the collection? I think that was sort of implied. Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did have a little bit more activity in the Kickstarter realm.
I see.
Distilled has put out a last update called Cocktails, and there are certain games where if there is a set, I don't want to miss out, and Distilled is one of those. We enjoy it. The expansions only make it better. They don't really hurt the game, and it's Cocktails.
Yeah. Yeah, and it makes sense. Distilled. They should have cocktails in this. Yeah. No, this is good.
Exactly. And you need to be drinking cocktails while you play the game, which makes it hard to play it in the game store. You have to take it to your house.
Yeah.
To really get the most out of it.
No,
because they will serve beer, but I have yet to find a speakeasy game store.
Yeah.
That may have just come up with the next big idea.
Well, that could be good. But yeah, I can see how. Also, beer you can sip on those for a while. Cocktails can really degrade your game experience after pretty short order there.
I always tell people when I play golf, after the first beer I play better, after the second beer I play worse.
Yeah. I have a similar experience with like playing pool. Yeah.
Well, I mentioned this last time, and I think it's already come and gone, but Obsession, the Rules Compendium, Victorian Big Box and Playmat. It's a reissue of that. You can get all the things in the game and all the expansions, but the big thing he is doing here is a bigger box to put everything in and a nice big playmat and an update to the rules. And I thought, you know what, I can back that because I love the idea of a playmat versus a board.
Okay, and
that is enhanced by a playmat. Actually, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say I feel kind of ambivalent, agnostic about the whole thing about the playmats. But it's great to have I've got the whole set of stuff for Obsession, and if you're new, you don't have to try to piece everything together. It's like, here it is, one thing, the whole, and with the rules to match the whole shuffling of things together. So that looks like a really great move for him.
Yeah. I think it'll be. I don't know if he's got another game in him. He might very, very well surprise us. But this seems to be his game, in his retirement.
Yeah,
because he's moved since Utah. I think he's set up out there now, and he pretty much. I mean, he's really for all intents and purposes, a one-man shop.
Yep.
But anyway, so far so good.
Yeah. And I think it's a vision he had, right? Like, this is my thing, and everything that apparently any expansions, everything else that's come into it seems to have just made the game more solid. I mean, just nothing seems to have people. I've not heard people react and say, "What the hell is this for?"
Yeah. Well, I think every release is really just sort of enhancing the game and making it better. It's kind of like he has taken the same approach that I think Jamie took with viticulture.
Mm-hmm.
That each little nuance that he did to viticulture was really to fix things in the program.
Right.
Tuscany kind of fixes a few of the things in viticulture that were a little challenging, and then I think the world version is really designed to just make it a co-op, which was nice.
It's interesting.
Viticulture and Vinos.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say viticulture and Vinos have been on our minds this week because a friend of mine has a winery out in Oregon, and I got a case of his 2018 Pinot Noirs.
Oh, nice.
And so they're like, we just need to drink this and play viticulture or Vinos.
Yeah, no, these are both good. Both are. I mean, and I was just thinking that when it comes to rules, it's funny because people will say, "Oh, how didn't you catch this?" I'm like, well, it's one thing if you've got 25, 50 people who are playing the game again and again and again. It's another thing when you send it out and suddenly 20,000 people are playing it all around, and now you've got 100,000 individual plays. So suddenly everything that you didn't notice poof, comes up, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's you are pressure testing it in ways that you just can't sitting around the table with people near and dear to you. So, I mean,
Yeah, sure.
yeah. And I'm just amazed that so many games come out where it all does work well, and they don't have to come out with patches afterwards to like, okay, do it this way. So, it's amazing.
What you're saying is very painfully close to the heart at the moment. I upgrade. This is totally unrelated to gaming, but I'm gonna tell you about it anyway.
All right, man.
I upgraded a software last week called Ham Radio Deluxe. It's it's the software that I use on my things, and boy, they broke it.
Oh no!
I think they actually did some AI coding and didn't do regression testing, and because they were focused. And the reason I bring it up is they were so focused on the release date. I think they rushed it, and I think that's kind of what we're talking about. What you're really saying is that they get so focused on releasing the game, and their ability to do testing or regression in case and is regression testing as well to make sure you didn't break anything that worked in the past. I think that, to your point, that kind of brings things up, and boy, I've been living that this week. Like, anyway, first world problem. It's a first world problem. All my problems are first world problems, and once you recognize that, you can get along. You can just smile through it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so speaking of first world problems,
yes.
Cascadia's got a new release on Kickstarter, and I was like, I have the game. I have one of the expansions. I don't think they're really going to change it that much. Right. I read into it, and I'm like, oh, they've changed it a little bit. This is like a sequel more than an expansion. So I was like, okay, well, fine. So I backed the Cascadia Alpine.
The one that I have my eye on is there's a kids Cascadia coming out. I think that was one of the ones I didn't talk about, but it's Essen that was one of the lists, and I was like, well, maybe we'll pass on this one and pick up the kids one instead and see how that plays. So yeah, I mean, Emerson's been really into Kids of Catan recently, so we've played a little bit of that. But yeah, so I mean, I think that looked more, as it says, a standalone puzzly, like that very much looked puzzly, and so yeah.
Well, we like the game. We like the mechanic of the game. We like the prettiness of the game. My sense is it plays a little bit different. So these, instead of you're playing, oh, hello there. Instead of playing the just the hexagon, you get like 3 hexagon connected on everything. So you got more shapes to deal with. And so I think it kind of, I'm curious to see how it makes the gameplay difference. And then of course you're dealing with different habitats, different animals,
And you go, that's right, it goes up and down too, right? So there's a 3-dimensional, how high you build stuff is also something that's happening. Yeah,
so they've added some nuance to the game, and so it's not just a reskinning of something that they've already done.
No, it's dominoes. It's like the double.
I'm talking to you, Everdell people. They're not just.
Yeah, no, and I think those double hexagons remind me of the pieces in Ingenious. So I can imagine sitting around there. So what if we glued these to Ingenious and like made the decisions trick? Yeah, but then also the stacking up on top. It's going to be. I'm interested to see how that goes.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
And what about you? Are you actually back at this, or you?
I'm still waiting for Tir Nog to show up. It should be here. The last communication was that it should be here in the middle of this month. So maybe by the next time we're talking, I'll be able to show you the bits and bobs and pieces of Tir Nog. I mean, it was supposed to deliver in September. Month and a half isn't so bad. You could have ordered a roll-up chess set that's like 5 years late, but
I know. I got that funny. I'm still waiting on Batman Escape from Arkham, but that's a different issue.
Yeah. Well, so I put here to know just as a teaser, like it should be here soon. I'm looking forward to it. Halloween was, 2 days ago, so I was hoping to get it before then to like do a, veil of the, but no. So, well, hoping for it doesn't seem like a real Thanksgiving game, but yeah. What?
Sort of an Irish version of the Day of the Dead.
Right. Yeah. Traveling through the underworld or afterlife, or yeah. So
now, do they have do they tell you the ship it's on and you can follow it on the little tracker?
No.
Do they tell you that?
No, alas. That would be fun, but I think this isn't. I mean, if you're laying down $200 for a super edition of Samurai, then that makes sense. But this is like $50 for.
Yeah, no, I get it. I just sometimes when they tell you, it'll be like, oh, and here's a link to the ship, and I'll click on it and go, oh, okay, it's going to Savannah. It's going to take a while. And then once it gets off Savannah, they got to get it off to me, it's just sort of a mental thing because usually Savannah tends to be the port that I see most often that it comes into. So that it's got to go through the Panama Canal. And then typically it ends up with one of the distributors down in Florida that then starts, the distribution, unless it's going through somewhere like Miniature Market or something like that. And so it's just kind of curious that for me, it's always curious. Plus now that they went to Asia this week and seem to have settled tariffs for a year, we'll see how that settles things down too.
That would be good. I think you can also check, watch the typhoons. You're like, is the typhoon going near that container ship? Yeah.
That is also, Melissa was, certainly a concern this week.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday night, I was on the ham radio. I was listening to, there's two channels. There is the Hurricane Net, which is 14325. And there is Caribe US, which is 14.283.
Okay.
And I pretty much Caribe 283 or Caribe.us because they were actually relaying messages to people on the island who had lost power and giving reports on stuff like that. So,
oh wow.
Anyway, totally not board game related.
No,
but you know what?
Super cool. Yeah. Fascinating. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, well,
indeed.
That's all I got this week.
That's all I've got. Hopefully there will be more games.
Maybe I can get another side table short out of this to punch out there. I think that'll be kind of a fun thing to add since I don't have to do a lot of work on it.
That's fantastic. Always good.
Well, as per usual, I am Joe Mahaffey, and I am not bored. I am board gaming.
And I am James Engelhardt, and I hope that all your tiebreakers break your way.
See you guys next time.
Bye, y'all.